So we'll go ahead and get started. Just wanted to thank everyone for coming out for our demo of our recently launched Gribble trait verifier and Rarity tools. We're super excited to dive in today, give you a demo, and then answer some, Q&A. For those of you who just got here, feel free to request to speak on the stage, and we can bring you up to ask questions, give feedback, or you can ask an AMA chat, and I can read your question. We're going to do intros and a little icebreaker, and then we'll do a demo, and then we'll just have open Q&A at the end. We expect this to last probably about 30 minutes, but we can go beyond that if needed. So first, I guess I'll introduce myself since I'm talking already. I'm Kristen. I'm the Chief Product Officer at MetaTheory. I joined about 7 months ago. When time flies, I feel like sometimes I feel like I still just joined the company, or I've been here forever, but it's been a really amazing, fun 7 months. I work on all things product, and also as of the new year, all things community and support as well, and also based in the Bay Area. Prior to MetaTheory, my whole background is product. I was the CEO at TopGG, one of the biggest aggregators for Discord bots and Discord servers, and we launched a DAO discovery prototype. Also worked with a couple different DAOs and community, most notably Crypto Culture and Society, the first learning DAO, and prior to then, different product roles at SoundCloud, Twitch, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. And I guess for our icebreaker today, we're going to ask everyone to share their favorite childhood game, and it can be a video game or board game. I have to say mine is Harvest Moon 64, and that's why I love Stardew Valley so much today. So I'll pass it over to Sam next for intro.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Sam Delgado. I am a blockchain engineer here at MetaTheory. I joined about 10 days after Kristen, I believe. So I'm almost to 7 months. And it's been a really awesome time so far. I'm based out of Idaho right now in the United States. And I've been in the blockchain space now for almost 5 years, and a Solidity developer for about 4.5. It was really just a few months after I first discovered Ethereum and all of the capabilities that it had. After that I really just decided to dive in and learn as much as I possibly could. And I've been around doing all sorts of different things with NFT projects, blockchain gaming projects, smart contract auditing, setting up or helping set up different DAOs and things over the years. I'm just a huge proponent of the space, and especially Ethereum and everything that can be built on top of it. And it's been really exciting being able to join a team that is really passionate about creating something special with Web3 and specifically gaming, which I think is really going to be like the breakout sector and prove true as the rest of this year goes on. We're going to see many different teams finally releasing their Web3 game, and I think the masses can really start to get onboarded. So I'm really excited to be in that space and working with a team that is just so talented and cares so much about doing all of this, the right way, and really cares about the user experience. So yeah, excited to be here. And my icebreaker, I guess, for my childhood game, there's a bunch, but I grew up, I think I actually really learned to read playing like Pokemon and Zelda. I think it was Link's Awakening on my little Game Boy. And eventually I got an N64 and had fun with a bunch of different N64 games, but so many amazing memories just playing Game Boy, and even having this is like really dating me, but having the like connection cable between the different Game Boys and like trading with my cousin from like Pokemon Red to Pokemon Blue, and like trying to, collect them all. So lots of great experiences with that. And I'll pass it over to Ayara.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks,
I was
Sam.
addicted to my Game Boy also.
So, hi everyone. I'm Vanessa, or you can call me Ayara.
Oh, yeah, Ayara, do you want to go next?
Oh, can you hear me? Oops, can you hear me?
Oh, Ayara, is your mic working? Just want to check.
Hello?
Okay, that's okay. We'll have our hop probably reconnecting. But oh,
Hello.
there you go. Oh, now we can hear you.
Okay,
Perfect.
oops, sorry. I don't know why that. Thanks for waiting for me. So hi everyone, I'm Ayara, or you can call me Vanessa. I'm the product manager of the platform team at MetaTheory, and I've been here for 6 months or so. I joined like a couple weeks after Sam and Kristen. Yeah, and so over here at super exciting time at MetaTheory, and we've been building some pretty cool stuff. But prior MetaTheory, I worked at TopGG alongside Kristen, so I did help with launching the DAO prototype as well, and did different workshops at different DAOs, specifically for community. I also own a large Discord bot called Mimu. You may have heard of it. Currently serving around 10 million users a day. And yeah, so that's my background. As for the icebreaker, I also grew up on Pokemon, but I guess I'm a little younger, so my first Pokemon game was on the DS, so it was like Ruby or Pearl and stuff like that. But I really did enjoy Pokemon, and I get pretty sentimental over it. So yeah, thanks.
Thanks so much, Ara. Yeah, and just to emphasize, so I know sometimes we say, oh, ours the platform PM. What does that mean? Basically, platform team works on all things non-game. So if you look at our website, the experience, our launcher, think of like data analytics, discovery, etc. That's a good way to think about our platform, and then also all things Web3 there. Great, thanks for the intro. So now we'll pass it over to Sam for our demo. And of course, if you have any questions, you can write them in our Breaker Canteen chat, AMA chat, or request to come up on stage and share. So over to you, Sam.
All right, so hopefully you can all see my screen share here. Right now I have the blog post pulled up that we released on February 15th, and it covers the stuff that I'm going to be walking through today. Which really entails 3 individual pieces. One of them is a new spreadsheet called the Gribble Trait Rarity Sheet, and then we also have a Gribble Trait Verifier tool. And well, actually, I guess those are the 2 pieces, but I'm going to be showing you a third piece, which is actually interacting with the contract that we deployed on Polygon to actually use those tools effectively. And the reason we put this together is so that we can actually show you that everything that we've built with the Gribble system, the generation system, is all completely fair. There's no bias in the process. There's no way for us at MetaTheory to game the process. There's no way for anybody else, any bad actors, to come in and try to game the process. We're using verifiably random numbers that are generated through Chainlink and pushing those into our generation algorithm, which has been completely locked since we launched in December of last year. And this effort to put all this together is proving that all of those things are actually true, that the code is actually locked, and actually being transparent about that and showing you how these things work. So in the post, which I definitely recommend going through, there's a couple links that are available. One of them that we run into right away is this Gribble Trait Rarity Sheet, which I'm going to open up right now just to give you an idea of what it is. So this is the primary index page, sort of the landing page. You can click into some of these subcategories, and there's some other resources down at the bottom. In case you're new to what we've built here with Gribbles, we have a few other blog posts that cover how the entire generation of Gribbles worked and the hatching event that took place. But essentially, there were many different Gribble eggs that many of the users were waiting months to eventually be hatchable. And that's what happened for our hatching event, which was at the beginning of December. And from those eggs come these unique Gribbles. And each of these Gribbles have specific presets that are attached to them that basically give them sort of a unique fingerprint. As far as I'm aware, there has not been 2 identical Gribbles yet, and I doubt we will see that at all, because there's, I think, a few billion combinations with the way that the algorithm is set up. There might be some that are extremely similar, but even just like the rotation of the eyes or the color of the eyes can be subtly different, and everything else might be the same, but those would technically be different Gribbles. And so we really want to show all of those different possibilities here. So I have this bodies tab opened, and within this, you can actually scroll through and see all 50 of the body presets that we have created, which are part of the possibility pool for any of your Gribbles. And the percentages that you see here are directly telling you what your percentage chance is of getting any one of these individual presets, depending on what level your egg is when you choose to hatch. And now that we're past the hatching phase, all of the egg levels are locked in place. So whatever egg level you currently have, or if you were to go to like OpenSea and maybe buy a Gribble egg, it's going to always be stuck at whatever that egg level is. So you can't upgrade it anymore. It's not going to go backwards. It's whatever it is where it's at. So you would be able to say, okay, I have a level 5 egg. So I want to know, what my percentage chance of getting this number 27 preset is. Well, it's right here. This one is highlighted in like this orange color, sort of to signify that it's more rare. You can see that this purple one, the rarities are going up. The commons are kind of this gray color here, but this gives you an idea of what the percentage chance is for any one of these traits. And we can look at all of the different presets types that we have. So we have these markings. You can see we have 12 different possibilities here, including this first possibility, which is none. So there would be no markings. We also have the textures, which are sort of like the indentations that are on the Gribbles. You can have markings and textures on your Gribbles, or if you have this first preset here, the glabrous, that's essentially no texture at all. We also have 6 different background possibilities. They have the same percentage chance for any of them, so there isn't like a more or less rare background. And then we have 200 different color palettes that can be selected from within the algorithm. And there's a few that you'll see here that are kind of highlighted in this orange are very, very rare. So we're only going to see them just a few times probably when we eventually hit sort of that 20,000 cap for this collection. And on this final tab here, we have sort of this breakdown of what we call secondary traits. And these are things that they're values that are generated in the algorithm when you hatch your egg, but they don't necessarily tie to specific presets. They might be something like the eye seed here, which is a random value between 1 and 10,000. That's basically going to determine the rotation of your Gribble's eyeballs, and it can totally change how it ends up looking. And sometimes you actually might get an eye color that doesn't fully come through just based on the eye seed that your Gribble got. So there's a lot of variation available. We definitely want to figure out maybe a better way to showcase some of these secondary traits. And we're still thinking through some of that, and we would love to hear some feedback on that. But the core thing is we just wanted to make sure that all of these potential values that are in our algorithm used to generate the Gribbles is accessible to you all, so you can actually go in and understand what the percentage chance of getting any of these things are. So if I hop back to the blog post here, I start talking through the different ways that we can actually prove the things that I just showed you on the sheet. And so what we've put together is this tool called the Gribble Trait Verifier, which I'm going to open up here. And it's a very simple page. When you first land on it, it just gives you the option to set an egg level and set a seed, and then you can generate your traits from the seed. So the idea from this is if you're looking at your Gribble on, say, OpenSea, and you wanted to know for sure that you actually received the correct visual Gribble that you were supposed to get based off of our algorithm, we want you to be able to verify that. Now, this tool is actually running on open source code. It's in a repo that we've made public to everybody. the underlying algorithm code is locked. We are not going to be updating that. So basically, if you actually end up verifying a Gribble and actually seeing different traits here than what you actually received, that would be a mistake. And we would definitely want you to let us know, and we would try to figure out how that happened and what we can do to remedy that. We haven't seen any mistakes thus far in the, I think we're close to 3,000 that have been hatched so far. But this at least gives you all the tools to be able to prove those things for yourself. And so I'm going to show you exactly how to do this right now. So over here on this tab, I have the contract open, which we ended up naming the Gribble hatcheting contract. This was deployed to Polygon, which is sort of a side chain to Ethereum. It's not a true layer 2 chain, but it's very easy to bridge Ethereum-based assets over to it, and then you can interact much more cheaply with the Polygon blockchain than you can with Ethereum. So we decided to use Polygon to generate these random numbers through Chainlink VRF, and then we use those random numbers as that seed that gets put into the Gribble data generator. And these random numbers are written to this contract on Polygon. So over here, to show you all how this works, I've just loaded Gribble number 38, and we can kind of get this visual here. It's got like these red eyes. It's got a cool sort of like a turquoise color here in its legs and on the markings that are available. But we know that it's number 38. So when I hop back over here to this Polygon contract, I can go down and find the get Gribble seed function, and you'll see I've already put this in, but you can basically add your ID for any of the Gribbles that you own or anybody else owns. It really doesn't matter. And if that Gribble egg has been hatched, then you will see this seed response here. And so you can take that and copy it and go back to the Gribble trait verifier and paste it into that seed field. Now, the other piece is, because we've made it so the rarer traits are slightly less rare or I guess easier to get as your egg level increases, we also want to know what egg level that specific Gribble was. So if you scroll down here on this gallery page, we'll see that it was egg level 5. So then I can go back and tell this it was egg level 5 and then hit generate traits from seed. And so, like I said, this is running off of like the open source code available in that repo. This website is actually published through something called GitHub Pages, so it's reading directly from that repo. This is not hitting our like centralized backend or anything. This is a repo that you could download locally if you wanted to be able to prove all of these things yourself. But by putting this seed in and the egg level, we get this output here, and we can see that, you know, these primary traits seem to be matching up. If we go back over here and see, there's the red eyes, we have that turquoise color, the markings speckled. We don't have the image on this site for the markings, but we can hop back over to that verifier sheet. And then if we look at the speckled markings here, it does look like that's what we ended up getting here. So this seems to be a correct visual rendering of the Gribble that this user was supposed to get. And then if we scroll down here, we can get this breakdown of those secondary Gribble traits that I showed you on the final tab of the trait rarity sheet. And these are traits that are not currently being shown in the metadata on OpenSea, but we have the full record of them. And basically, because this the way the algorithm works is we can always put in a seed and the egg level, and the output is going to be the same every single time. So these traits are never going to change. And if we wanted to, we could actually move some of these secondary traits up and maybe make them primary traits and expose some of those things on OpenSea. But for now, we've sort of kept them like this, but at least you are able to come in here and verify that, you know, some of these things that you could tell on a visual level are true. Like, are there dents on the head? Are there dents on the belly? You can go into the 3D view and kind of get the full 360 view of your Gribble to verify some of those things. But that's basically how this tool works, and you can go through as many of you know, your Gribbles as you have, just to make sure that you got what you were supposed to get. We internally have done our best to do sort of a manual verification after we've rendered all of the Gribbles, just to make sure that everything lines up before we deliver them. Like I said, we haven't detected any mistakes thus far. If you do find any, please let us know. But we wanted to put all of this together so that we can actually be transparent about this process and show everybody that there's no gaming of this system that's really possible. We're all locked into this algorithm now. There's no way to know the random numbers ahead of time. They get generated the moment you choose to hatch through Chainlink VRF. And that whole transaction on Polygon is handled by us. We pay for the gas and actually sending off the transaction. So you don't have to like connect your wallet or send the transaction for that specific part. But yeah, that kind of covers these new tools that we put together. I haven't really had a chance to see if there have been any direct questions in the chat about any of this, but that covers the demo portion, at least initially, unless there's something else I can dive into.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. Nothing in the chat yet, but I see some folks typing. Also just wanted to remind everyone that feel free to come join us on stage. Just request to speak, and you can also ask your question verbally as well. And just wanted to again congratulate the team on all their hard work on this. Building with transparency and provable fairness are themes that are very, very important to us, and I think also just at the forefront of what Web3 is trying to change in the with technology and the industry. So this was a really important and fun product for us to put out there. So we have a question from NW Bog. Sam, can the tool tell the owner if they have the most rare Gribble hatch thus far?
So in its current form, it cannot. It's basically not connected to our backend or any sort of API at this point to be able to look into all of the other existing Gribbles to know exactly how rare that specific Gribble you're looking at is. I think that could potentially be a pretty cool feature. That's something we can definitely think about. Maybe there's a way to implement something like that within the spreadsheet as well. I know there's some scripting capabilities within Google Sheets that might allow us to maybe make some of those external API calls. The initial goal of this was to sort of create this tool that you could actually just download and run locally if you wanted, and there didn't need to be even an internet connection. If you didn't want there to be, you could have your seed downloaded and know the egg level, and you should be able to get these results even if you didn't have that network connection. So that's the current form of it, but I don't know, maybe something like that is worth implementing, and we can definitely do some more investigation around that.
Yeah, that's a great question. Just quick plug for our ideas and suggestions channel. We'd love to hear your different feedback, or if you have questions outside of the AMA, please feel free to ask us. D-Lou gave us some awesome feedback already on the spreadsheet and the tool that we're evaluating implementing. So please keep the great questions and ideas coming.
I will add on that if you were able to go into this sheet and look at some of the traits for the Gribbles you hatched, and you noticed that you got a trait that was orange, then you likely have one of the rarer Gribbles in our collection thus far. I think we have a little over 11,000 or so total between hatched Gribbles and then the Gribble eggs. Only around a little under 3,000 so far have actually been hatched. So the whole, the collection rarity is really hard to evaluate at this point as a whole, because Gribble eggs are all the same rarity, but they make up the majority of the collection still. But within those hatched Gribbles, I would guess that most of the Gribbles that have one of these orange traits, even if it's just a single one, even if it was just your body trait ended up being one of these orange traits, it's probably one of the rarer Gribbles in the collection. A lot of the Gribbles are going to end up with these more common traits, which, when there's 50 body types, it's actually still pretty rare to get any individual one. It's under 3%. even at level 5. But with, you know, just the amount that has been hatched thus far, I doubt that there have really been that many of sort of these orange ones. I don't think it really makes sense to call them like legendary traits, but in terms of rarity, they are much, much more rare. And then some of the color palettes, especially, like I think 0.01 or 0.02% is going to be the lowest. But yeah, if you see one of those, if you have a Gribble with one of those, I would definitely say it's probably in the top 50 or 100 rarest Gribbles that we've generated thus far. But yeah, I definitely think it would be cool to have more analytics and data around that. And I'm not sure if something like Rarity tools can automatically pick some of these things up, since all of this metadata is available to them, or at least, you know, within these main presets, not the secondary traits right now. But I'm not totally sure about that yet. I'll have to dig into that.
Yeah, we can absolutely look more into Rarity and also working with the other kind of Rarity aggregators. We have a question from Sunrunner. Do you really think anyone will use it? I don't want to poke around the contract, compare with the table. I just want to see the rank of the Gribble. I have some thoughts on that, but Sam or IR, would you like to answer first?
I'm fine answering that. Yeah, honestly, I don't really see this being like a tool that's used very often. The important thing for us was to make sure that there was the ability to prove the fairness and be transparent about this process. But obviously there's some details within this that are, you know, they require a level of effort or knowledge of certain Web3 things that most people are probably not interested in. But myself personally, like as a dev, I'm somebody who would use this, like, I would love something like this for really any of the projects I've interacted with over the last 4 to 5 years. And I'm someone who, you know, my friends would reach out to and they'd be like, hey, can you take a look? Can you let me know if this contract is safe? Or can you let me know if this process is fair? And I'm the sort of person that would actually do that. And a tool like this, I consider very valuable, but it's not necessarily meant to be like used by every single person in the user base as like their primary way to understand more about their Gribble. OpenSea, something like Rarity tools, or even just like the gallery page on our website probably gives you just a better overall experience to just get an understanding of some of the high level data. And hopefully over time, we can start surfacing more of the overall collection analytics. But yeah, it's not necessarily something we're expecting like everybody to flock to. It's really just more to give them the opportunity to dive in if they wanted to.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I definitely agree with what Sam shared here. We built this with transparency in mind and wanting to build with the community, so that's why we shared this. And also we did know some people were curious about how, you know, being level 5, what would the distribution be, or how would Rarity kind of change over like different levels. So we just wanted to be super transparent and share these numbers with everyone.
Thanks, Sam and Vanessa. Hopefully that answers your question, Sunrunner. And I am, I really don't have much to add. Just really aligned with Sam and Vanessa here. As I say many times, you know, building with and for our community is super important, and we want to hold ourselves to the highest standard of transparency, particularly in Web3, a space that is filled with, you know, a lot of, you know, scams, abuse, etc. Like you see them in the news. So that's something we're trying to actively change in the space and, you know, set a higher bar for. Any other questions? Anyone want to come up here and ask one live, or feel free to type in the chat as well. We have a few more minutes, so we're really happy to answer. No burning
questions. Does anyone think they have like a super rare Gribble? I can look it up and run it through the verifier, and we can see if you ended up actually getting any rare traits. Maybe I can do that for one, if someone, whoever's first.
Yeah. Does someone want to volunteer theirs? Oh, here, Yuzu coming through. I see Delu typing. Okay. I can probably do both. Otherwise, it's a backup. Gears gave me a very cool pink one, but I haven't checked the rarity yet. I just like it because it's pink. Thank you, Gears. I gotta send you one of my other ones. You gotta tell me which one. I just remembered. Okay, Sunrunner coming through with 242, Sam.
242.
We can probably check a few live. And then
okay, we'll pull it up here.
Drop yours in whenever you're ready. Let's check out 242.
Okay, and this was level, I didn't actually look. I'm guessing 5. Yeah. Most of you made it to level 5. Okay, so the color palette itself, I believe, is one of the neutral ones. That is probably more common, but we can take a look at, see, the body type was tetralobate. That was actually a great suggestion, I think, from Delu to put the titles in here. And I will definitely have those in before the next demo so I can actually search by them. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to eyeball that. Is that the first one there? Seems pretty similar.
I think so. I can also, sorry, we have a map somewhere. I gotta find it.
Yeah, we have so many of these like sheets that were in draft, and we were doing all sorts of things too. So we can definitely find it. I will pull up number 64 here from Delu. Copy this. That's cool eyes. And this is level 5 as well. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head which of the body and texture and markings types are the most rare, but I guess these are easier to look at. The markings was barred. It's a more common one, much more common one. The texture was dented. Common. And yeah, I won't be able to easily find that body type until I add those to the sheet.
I think I can help with the body type. Hold on, I found our key. What was the name again, Sam? Sorry.
Reticulate for the body.
Okay, reticulate. That should be number 2. That's my, or wait, sorry. Wait, no, sorry. I have a different number.
Look, it kind of looks like
reticulate. Sorry, it's number 3. I'm sorry, it is number 3.
Okay, then
verifying it's
well,
number
there
3.
you go. Yeah, that's one of the super rare ones.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Which number did we just look up, Sam? Sorry. So we have in
chat. That was 64, and then the first one we did was 242.
242. Okay. Sunrunner also gave us 4954. And then Delu, we're waiting for you if you have yours, but
okay, that's level 5.
I'm ready to look up any body types, and yeah, that was great feedback, Delu. We will add that into the sheet.
Okay, this is the reticulate body type. Was that the same one?
Yeah, same one. Rare body type.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I like those
and
colors.
Then this color, I feel like this might have been one of the rare palettes. So this is kind of like the watermelon palette, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got a super cool eye color, Sunrunner.
The markings were banded and the texture type was rough. So banded is not super common, I guess kind of uncommon. The rough texture type is common, though I feel like that color palette might be more rare. I'm not sure though. Guess we can look for this. We definitely need to make the color sheet, I think, easier to search through with this. What was that? Color 4?
I think so. Yeah. Do some live demoing and get some good feedback from everyone. But yeah, I guess ask
That
as
looks
you're
like it
playing
might be
around
it.
with this. Oh yeah, very cool. Yeah, as you're playing around with it, please keep giving us feedback and ideas and suggestions so that we can make this useful for y'all. Nice and runner. And then we have Delu has 712, which is his lucky red one.
All
You
right,
can check
let's see.
that one out. Thanks, Delu.
Well, that's cool.
Ooh. I love that one. That one's super cool. This is making me want to hatch the rest of my eggs. I saved a few.
I have hatched none. I'm
Oh my
looking
gosh.
forward to it, but I'm saving them up. Oh,
I got
that's a cool
very
color palette
excited
here.
during launch and kept kind of live hatching them.
Okay, markings concentric, a common one. Texture is cratered, more common. And that's cool. Eye color. I'm not sure I've seen very many
Yeah.
with it.
And also
So yeah,
want to
see how
add
there's like multi-colors in the eye? That happens from the eye seed, but that primary color is that yellow, and you do see it there, but it's kind of interesting how much the eye seed can really affect how the eyes turned out.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to add just in the design of this collection, future events we're going to have some very cool folks from our art team come and kind of share behind the scenes. But when we say common, like one thing we want to add is that a lot of variation and diversity was built into this collection, as you can see from the spreadsheet. So there's so many different, billions of combinations, as Sam said. We have another question, or sorry, Sam. I'll hold the question until you're ready.
Well, I found the color palette there.
Nice.
So yeah.
Cool. Question from D. Lou. I'm curious if the albino ones are rare. Had a hard time confirming that in the spreadsheet.
It really depends. Like the color palette itself, you're likely looking at this one right here, which there are, if you see these three, these are the more neutral palettes. So there's like kind of the very light white one, the more like black one, and then there's this one that's a few different shades of gray. These are the three most common color palettes, but then there's like very rare combinations that could happen with that. It really just depends on what you got with the body's markings and textures. And then an interesting thing here is this markings color it's linked to the color palette, but in the secondary traits, depending on what you got for your color application mode, it can sort of change how those colors are applied. And then there's also this edit markings color, which is true a third of the time. And when that ends up being true, you can get like a much different markings color. So you might have like a neutral white palette that ends up getting a very rare markings color, but 2/3 of the time it will just end up being whatever was specified here in this F column for that palette. So it really depends, but I do think that like these neutral palettes, if you end up getting like maybe the glabrous and no markings and like a special eye color, I think they have the potential to just have such a cool look. I don't know that I've really stumbled across too many of them in our live collection. I mean, I've looked at thousands and thousands and thousands of Gribbles as we've done testing, and really we're trying out all different variations of the algorithm over time, but there's still so many potential combinations for there to be in the live collection, and I think it's going to take a long time for a lot of those to actually appear, just based on how many eggs are getting hatched and how many people are just choosing to like mint, and really just depends on how big this collection ends up getting if we hit our cap and everything.
Thanks, Sam, and thanks for the question, Dilu. Okay, I see Dilu typing. Ask for any other questions or feedback, suggestions from Dilu. Yeah, how to make it easier to find a Gribble by number based on set of traits, colors, etc. Especially if there's a roadmap towards breeding. Great feedback. All right. Any final questions or feedback? Okay. Okay, I see some typing. We'll wait. No one wants to come up on stage? That's okay. Next time. Yeah, I will mention we do have another demo on Wednesday. Wednesday morning PST. You can RSVP in the event chats. We'll follow kind of a similar format, open AMA questions, but if any other burning questions come to mind after this, please drop them in AMA chat and we'll make sure to answer them in the demo Wednesday morning PST time. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and big thank you, Sam, for the demo, and also Vanessa as well. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears and love went into creating this. So we're just excited to bring more transparency to what we're working on, and continue to build with you. If you have any feedback for us, questions, etc., please keep that coming. And one thing that we're investing in more is our community, all of you. So thanks for being along for the ride. And if you have any ideas or requests for more events, etc., we'd love to hear from you. So please, drop us a line anywhere on Discord, and you can always DM me on Twitter as well. So thanks everyone so much for coming out. We'll see you Wednesday and at other events. Have an amazing rest of the day wherever you are in the world, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.